Okay, so we're at it again. We're back to the board this week. Had a lot of great comments about the video last week doing Cape Coral. So this week we're going to be talking about if you are moving to Fort Myers, Florida, you gotta watch this video. We're getting after that next. Okay, so just like the last video, we're going to be going through some of the more popular things in the area, some things you need to know if you're going to be moving to the Fort Myers area. No, everything won't be included because obviously the last video went 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep this within reason and give you a lot of information. We can break it down further as we go on through the series, but we're going to be talking about locations of shopping, some of the desirable neighborhoods, some of the places that we like to frequent, where you can go for sunsets, and things of that sort. So if there's anything that I'm missing or any comment you want to make about either where you're moving from or some other things you want to know, put it down in the comments below, and we'll be sure to address that in future videos. Okay, so as you know, if you're looking for a channel to tell you a little bit more about moving to the area, this is the channel for you. We talk about everything on here, and the latest is the maps, give you a lot more detail. So if you get information, if you're getting a lot of good information from the video series, go ahead and subscribe and comment and even hit the little bell to make sure you're notified every time. Hey, share it with your friends too. And if you're looking to get your search for a property done sooner, you can go to our nextfloridahome.com or use our mobile app, our Next Florida Home, to get yourself started there. Again, it connects right to the MLS. Can help you find anything you'd want to look for. I get a ton of reach outs each week, and I'd love to hear from you as well. If there's something that you have not been able to pick up in the videos, you got to do one of three things. You've got to call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast. Okay, so as we did last week, we're going to address the map here. Once again, we're in the southern part. So here's Florida once again. And we are right down in this southwest corner. And like I said, this week we are going to be talking about Fort Myers. Fort Myers sits directly east, kind of southeast of Cape Coral. And it really is misleading because the downtown area starts down in here. Comes down the river, all the way out to Iona here, and to Punta Rasa. All this is considered Fort Myers. And it's going to come across here, and it ties back in like that. It'll come across, and we'll come up and get part of this. 82, that's the road that separates Lehigh Acres from Fort Myers. That is an important boundary. Everybody knows what it is. So if anybody talks about State Route 82, it's being defined because that's the line between the two cities. In any case, there will be a section right up in here. It's called Buckingham. It is considered Fort Myers still. The address on the properties will be Fort Myers. That's as far east as you're going to get and still keep a Fort Myers address. There's a lot of new construction going on out there, but there's going to be a lot of well and septic too. So depending on what you're looking for, that's what you're going to find in that area. Now, a couple of things that we do want to address is the main road you're going to be using to run around. 75. Oh. I-75 is this road right here. That is the main road, and it does tie directly over to Miami. It's 2 hours to get to Miami from here, and it will continue north up to Punta Gorda, Sarasota, Tampa, and then obviously you can join into I-4 and go over to Orlando. We're within a couple hours of three major cities, so there's a lot of stuff to do even if you don't stay local. Now, if this road is really jammed, because you'll see in the morning they give a report on the news, this road can change many times throughout the morning based upon accidents and traffic flow and everything. So if you need to find another way, then what you're going to do is, and this is kind of interesting as well because US 41 does the same thing. It goes down here a little bit further, but it's going to go all the way across to Miami as well. US 41 will go up right through downtown Fort Myers, across into North Fort Myers. We're going to talk about North Fort Myers in just a minute, a couple little details about it. It kind of gets forgotten in the conversation of Fort Myers, but there's an important thing that you're going to find in that area that we're going to talk about. So you're going to use this road as your other north-south main road. Outside of this, you're going to have a number of smaller roads that you're going to be able to access to come from the interstate and in. And as you're using these, you're going to notice they get very busy. So Daniels Parkway is one of the very busiest. And you can see this ties right out in here, goes out to Gateway. Gateway is a wonderful community. It's actually it's almost like a small city because there's multiple communities within this. Most of them are gated. So if you're looking for gated communities close to the interstate, kind of away from the city, this is going to be where you're going to go. Gateway has a lot of opportunities there. And as you can see, it is also right next to the South Florida International Airport, so RSW. That's where that is. Now, you could get some flight traffic that's going to come in from different directions, and there could be some noise at times, but that is just one of the side effects of living in that area. It keeps you close to everything. Once again, you're going to notice that this Gateway area, you're right on top of I-75, and you're also close to 41. You've got the main road here, and then Colonial is this one here. 82, if you use this, it'll take you to the center of the state, and it'll go towards Immokalee. When we're looking at Fort Myers is very different from Cape Coral for one main reason. While we have the river, all this frontage here, there's not as many Gulf access canals for people to live on. There's a section right down through here that's going to get you into an area called Whiskey Creek. That has some Gulf access in it. You will find some Gulf access along the river, obviously. And then downtown here, there's going to be a marina. There's going to be other docking opportunities down there. But it's not as plentiful as all of that. I mean, Cape Coral is truly a beast of its own just because of all those canals. You can still get Gulf access in Fort Myers. It's just going to be limited. And as you know, anything that's limited has a higher price. So keep that in mind if you're going to be in Fort Myers with Gulf access. Now, a couple of things that people are always asking for, and the one thing that we do not have in Cape Coral that is, it's been a major issue for many people, and you wouldn't think it would be because we're talking about a department store or a shopping venue, but Costco. Yeah, it's a huge one. So Costco is not in Cape Coral, but you will find it in Fort Myers. It's going to be right here. Costco's there. There's going to be another one that is going to be down at Gulf Coast Town Center. So GCTC is down here. And you're going to see that it has a ton of shops. There's over 100 stores down in this location. And you can see you can hit the Explore Shops button. They're also starting a concert series down there on Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. You can sign up. There was a prompt here to put my email in if I want to be notified of things, so you can do that. But you'll see the different places you can eat and drink, shopping, entertainment. It's all on this website. There'll also be specials down there, so if you're somebody that's after the coupons and saving some money, you'll find those opportunities on the site as well. And this is just GulfCoastTownCenter.com. See it right up here. So if you plug that into your browser, you'll get the same information. Just to give you a little... So you'll see everything's broken down by category. And there you go, Costco. So Dick's Sporting Goods, there's only one there. And then also up in Fort Myers, there's none in Cape Coral. Ron John Surf Shop, this is pretty much only the only one here. Bass Pro Shop, same thing. Very high, very sought after store for many people because of all the fishing we do here. But this is where you're going to find the Bass Pro Shop is down at GCTC. Let me get back to the map. And just once again, so you know where that's located, that is, you come across Alico here, and it's right over in this area. Is where you're going to find GCTC. So all your shopping is going to be there. If you keep going further south, then you're going to run into Miramar. Miramar is going to be all the other shopping. A couple other things you're going to want to know where to go. You'll see that there's a number of little green markers around here. They're going to be for a few things. One of them is parks. 6 Mile Slough. This is a place where you can... Let me see where we are. Parks. So here is a map of all the parks throughout Fort Myers, Cape Coral, out onto Pine Island, even all the way out to Captiva. But this is the Lee County site for it, and you'll see these are all the different parks. If you come into this site, you can hit any one of these links to get more information about any of those parks. And you'll see this is the 6 Mile Slough has this kind of a boardwalk built on it, same thing as the 4 Mile Cove in Cape Coral. Others, this is the Manatee Park. I'm going to show you a little bit more about that. So if you want to see the manatees, this time of year when the water's colder, they come up the river into a small section that's across from the water treatment plant that warms the area for them. So these are the different parks you're going to find throughout the area. And you can just go to leegov.com/parks and you'll get this information. Now, to give you a little rundown of where the Manatee Park is. So you'll see, again, Fort Myers as a whole. You can come up 75 and out 80, and it's right here for the Manatee Park. You can kayak there with the manatees. You can go and just observe. There's no feeding centers or anything like that. It's more just for pictures and kind of see them. They do congregate in large numbers, so it's actually pretty cool. Now, one of the places a lot of people are very interested in going is, we mentioned the 6 Mile Slough, right? Down here is Lakes Park. This is one of the nicest parks that you're going to find in the area, and there's a ton to do there. There's a water park section, there's a playground, there's walking paths, biking paths, people going fishing there. They're using the boats. There's a train that runs around. There's just all kinds of stuff going on there. And if we go back to the parks and Lakes Park. So here is all the different things that you're going to find. There are different events they'll run there. There's a farmer's market on Wednesdays from 9 to 1, especially during season. But if you come in here to, again, leegov.com/parks/Lakes Park, this information will be there. There's phone numbers, there's the address. So all this stuff is there available to you to give you more information about the park. Dogs aren't allowed in this park, and trust me, they are watching, because even riding them in a basket and a bicycle, you don't get away with it. So keep that in mind. Furry friends are not welcome at this park. Now, outside of parks, obviously there's a ton of golf courses in the area, and those are going to be scattered throughout. We're not going to go into that now. There's just too much detail in it. But a couple of the other things, we're coming into spring training right now. Spring training starts in another week, and we've got a location right here at the Lee County Sports Complex. That is going to be where the Twins are. Then if you come, it's going to be right out here is where JetBlue Park is. And I did also pull that up for you so you can see here. You can go on this site at Ticket Center for the spring training. Just put in spring training when you're Googling, and it'll give you an opportunity to get into any one of these games. Tickets are very short supply because this is a very big thing for our area. People literally fly in for these couple weeks and stay just to watch all these games. So if you're going to order tickets, do it in advance. Do it well ahead of schedule, or you probably aren't going to be going to the game. Now, outside of these events that are happening, one of our big draws in the area is this section right here. That's downtown Fort Myers. It actually gets a little bit tighter because if you're going to come in for actual food and drink and music, it's going to be this small section right there. There is a parking garage there right now. There's street parking. There are some other lots that you can use, like by the courthouse when the business isn't running. But this is the Fort Myers River District. And once again, another site you can come to, myriverddistrict.com. And in here, they're going to tell you what shops and stores are open. They mention when the music walk's going to happen, when the art walk's going to be. There's a big block party that's going to be for St. Patty's Day. So a lot of things happening in downtown Fort Myers on a regular basis. It is a historic area, so you're going to see the brick roads. You're going to see the brick buildings. It's actually very cool. And once again, there's a lot of live music that's played down there. A lot of entertainment opportunities. And you can connect, on social media with the site as well, or put your email in to get all the updates. So that's just another thing to take in if you're going to be searching for things to do in the area. The River District is another one to go to. Now, in this area, a couple things that you're going to be looking for. We mentioned some of the attractions. Well, attractions are also going to draw you to where you want to live. Gateway, again, we mentioned how many different communities are in that area. That is a very, very busy area with communities. And if you zoom in a little bit more, this whole section, literally off of tree line, is the road. This road right here is tree line. On either side of tree line, they're loaded with more communities. So a lot of opportunities to be in a community. That's something to mention too. Fort Myers is made up of a lot of gated communities. So if you don't like HOAs and don't want to be in them, you can get away from it, but you're going to find this is throughout the area. There's a lot of them. I mean, all this down in here, these are all communities. And if you want to kind of peel away from that, then what you have to do is come in towards town more. There's sections that are a little bit older. You see all the roads here. This is going to be an area. Whiskey Creek, love, love, love Whiskey Creek. The golf course and executive course, we play it often. It's challenging on a short game, and my other half and I started playing there to allow her to get better, and now we can play just about any course. But Whiskey Creek is a beautiful area, and this whole section, it's not gated, but it is deed restricted, so you have rules to follow. There will be an HOA, but it's not going to be an overly expensive one. Pine Manor, you're going to want to definitely drive through an area like that to see how you like it. And again, I'd be happy to direct you as best I can based upon what your desires are. But these are some of the communities. And then all of this area, anything off McGregor Boulevard, these are gorgeous homes. They're going to be a little older homes. Many of them have been renovated. They're absolutely beautiful. In the neighborhoods, there's nothing else like it. The massive trees they're lining the roads, they put a lot of lighting in. It reminds you of a northern kind of a neighborhood, the way it looks. But that's something to check out if you haven't seen it before. And while you're checking that out, you might as well work your way right down to here, where you've got the Edison and Ford Winter Estates. This is where Edison and Ford came and stayed along the river. It's now lit up during Christmas time. It's an attraction for people to walk through and see how the homes were decorated and see how the grounds were kept and how this whole area was originally found and used as a vacation home, and everybody else just followed suit. Now, as we look at the different areas and the different communities that are spread throughout, there are many, many opportunities also going south. South Fort Myers is where you're going to start getting a little bit more of the little bit more prestige behind some of the communities. But there's an area in particular right over here called Briarcliff. This is where you're going to get acreage. Acreage is not easy to find in Fort Myers, but this is actually in Fort Myers, the South Fort Myers, and you can get acreage there. There's only one other spot that I know of that you can do the same thing, and it is right in here. Some acre plots in there. Once again, because they're so exclusive, it's going to be a little tougher, a little bit more expensive to get into. But they are available if that's something you're looking for. I have a client, Greg, he came in and insisted on being in one community in particular, Heritage Palms. This is a 27-hole golf course community, and it is spectacular. The clubhouse is amazing. They cater to you very well there. It's well worth the investment if you're looking for a golf course community. That one is awesome. And as you can see, they're literally everywhere. Botanica Lakes, Pelican Preserve, Colonial Country Club, Reflection Isles, Paseo, we already mentioned Heritage Palms, the Willows, Plantation Preserve, the Rookery, Highland Parks, Brookshire Lakes. It's just everywhere. Arborwood's out here. The newer stuff tends to be pushing out towards 82. You've got Magnolia Lakes and Cypress Cay out there as well in Gateway. But those are all things, gated communities that are in the area that you could potentially find yourself living in. Each one's a little bit different, so we can just kind of walk you through what some of those differences are and help you make your decision a little easier. I don't touch on schools a ton. You can go to leeschools.net if you want more information about the schools, but I will mention that many folks do come into the area for FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast Community, and then FSW has a location right over here. So we do have colleges in the area. Obviously, the housing that's out there in these areas, there's a ton of housing that came in right down in the Estero area for FGCU. So many of those communities you really want to look into before you get into as far as finding out what is the activity like. When you have a university nearby, there's a lot of coming and going, a lot of activities. If that's what you're looking for, great place to be. If you're not, you might want to look elsewhere. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to know is, where the heck do I go for a sunset? Sunsets here are awesome. It's one of our highlights. And I will tell you, prior to the hurricane, obviously Fort Myers Beach, anywhere along there, amazing. This whole section here, Bottage Point, and then you also have Punta Rasa, and then the whole causeway. This whole section was used all the time for sunsets. Obviously Sanibel, many of the areas along Sanibel though are private beaches for the residences. Lighthouse Beach was at the end. Currently it's not accessible, there's no real parking there. So that will clear up. But if you're looking for sunsets, even anywhere along the river here, we do like to go to downtown. So we get back to downtown Fort Myers, right in this little area. And there's a hotel there now called the Luminary. It is absolutely gorgeous. The views off the top are amazing. The sunset is awesome. The breezes that come across there, again, you don't want to miss them. It's a great ambiance to be in. Now I said I would mention North Fort Myers. There's something in particular about it. When you cross these two, we talked about this in the previous video. Let me hit it again. There are 3 bridges, actually 4 bridges in this section. 2 of them, Midpoint and Cape Coral Parkway, they're a $2 charge to go across. These bridges here are free. So when you cross these, there's actually a little park right about here. You can, again, great sunsets right from there. It sits right on the water. But up in this area in North Fort Myers, this stuff up in here is more acreage. So if you're looking for space, you can still find it up in the North Fort Myers area. You'll also see more golf courses. So we do have those everywhere. There's going to be communities. These are communities that have the golf courses built in. Outside of that, there's going to be sections. As you can kind of see, we're going to zoom in a little bit more. You can see that this area, North Fort Myers, does offer golf access. So there's a little bit more that you're going to find golf access wise in North Fort Myers that you might not get in Fort Myers. So there's another possibility if you're looking for that waterfront living. It's another area that you can look outside of Cape Coral that would be a little bit more affordable than Fort Myers itself. But those are your options if you're going to be looking for golf access. The Lee Civic Center is right out here. So again, I-75, it's right off of 75. This is where they do RV shows and gun shows. Yes, I said guns. We like guns here. They do shows here. That's where you're going to go for that kind of stuff. It's kind of out of the way, but that has a ton of space out there, and it can take in the masses of people that come to these. In this area, you also have a couple things to consider. There's a lot of stores that you're going to find in Fort Myers you won't find in Cape Coral. And a few that I'm seeing right now to pop up. We already talked about Costco, Best Buy. The Edison Mall sits up here. That is going to be the other shopping spot that you're going to go to if you're not going down to, say, GCTC or Miramar. Miramar is another place that has a ton of shopping. And the other thing we want to consider is, as you get close to the water, there's a lot of people that are asking this lately, the closer you get to these water sections, and this hole here, you see this is a preserve, there is a road that comes down here, Winkler Extension South. All of these homes in the area all of these communities are built on stem walls. The houses are, because the elevation is so low. So you're a couple feet up at your front door and inside your garage, just because the flooding possibility is higher there as it's close to that preserve. There's nothing really to stop the water from coming in. So keep that in mind if you're looking for communities. If you're going to be in the south area towards the water, you could potentially be running into a situation with stem walls and flooding. All right, so that's a little bit more about moving to Fort Myers, Florida, and what you can expect. Some of the things you're going to run into, some things you're going to find. Once again, it's so extensive. There's so much to cover here. So there's probably going to have to be a number of follow-up videos specifically for certain topics. I just wanted to kind of cover the overall and give you an idea of what to expect. So if you need more information about moving to the area, check one of the other videos. And if you have any questions, you've got to call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast.